Yesterday and today we're hearing closing statements from the Post Office inquiry. Finally, at long last, getting to the end of that long-running inquiry into the Horizon IT scandal. Well, one man who, of course, made a crucial role, if you saw that amazing ITV drama series of what's happened during that whole saga, one man who played a crucial role was the Conservative peer, Lord Arbuthnot. James Arbuthnot, I'm delighted to say, joins us right now. A very good morning to you, sir. Can you hear me, Lord Arbuthnot?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
good.
I can hear you.
We've got you. Lovely.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you so much. You've been a key player in the scandal, well, in trying to expose this scandal and getting so many wrongs righted. We've seen an extraordinary inquiry. I have to say, I wish the COVID inquiry was moving as fast-paced as this, but we've had was it 270,000 documents disclosed, more than 2.2 million pages. We've had evidence from almost 300 witnesses, 780 witness statements. We've had the likes of the Post Office boss, Paula Venables, and others, very, very senior figures, people who've never spoken publicly before, being questioned by the Chief Counsel at this inquiry. Do you think that we are actually going to get some real answers about who knew what when, and we'll actually see proper justice being done, by which I mean criminal prosecution of those who perpetrated this awful, awful scandal?
I do think we're going to get justice. I think it's going to be hugely delayed, though. I mean, we know that justice delayed is justice denied, but if we now hear that the prosecutions aren't going to begin until 2027, that is just...
And what is the justification for that? If people are sort of identified in this document, as many expect the inquiry chair to do, as being possible wrongdoers, the police started investigating in 2019, didn't they? Why would it take them so long to be able to prosecute?
Good question. They say that because there are so many documents, as you say, millions of pages, many hundreds of thousands of documents themselves, they say that they have to digest what Sir Win Williams finds in his inquiry, and they won't be able to get on with it. I don't see that myself. I think we've learnt so much from the inquiry that they could get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, as always, these things go, the wheels turn very, very slowly, don't they? Now, we've seen Sir Alan Bates at Knighted now, the prominent campaign who'd come to you about all of this.
Yes.
He still waiting for compensation. So much fanfare about all the compensation that these people were going to get and having their criminal records. I mean, 900 people prosecuted, overturned, and justice being done. This clamour from the public and from politicians and others for this to be done after that wonderful ITV documentary, drama series, and yet people are still waiting. There are still people who probably are going to die before they get exoneration, before they get their compensation. What is holding that up?
There are too many who have already died before getting compensation. But the huge piece of legislation that we passed during the summer has given exoneration to hundreds of sub-postmaster victims. And that itself has released many hundreds of millions of pounds to the
because they were convicted, they couldn't claim that money.
Yes, that's it. And so we are now speeding up. Still, there's a shortage of forensic accountants. There's dispute over some of the items that people say that they would have gained if they hadn't had this scandal. And that's a very complicated thing to work out.
Yeah.
I do believe, though, that we're finally getting there. I think it's taking longer than it should. All of these things are taking longer than they should. But we are, at last, getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's taken far too long. Do you think that we will actually see, even if it's not till 2027, anybody going to trial and being convicted and possibly going to jail even for wrongdoing here? Because one of the things that you helped uncover was that senior people at the post office and people involved in the Horizon, the Fujitsu computers involved in the Horizon machinery, they did know that those machines could be fiddled with centrally and it couldn't all be happening in the post office. They allowed a terrible miscarriage of justice to be inflicted on completely innocent people. People ended up, they lost their jobs, they lost their reputations, they lost their families, marriages, some even took their own lives. That someone does need to pay for this.
Yes. Yes. And you ask if I believe that people will. I do believe that. I do believe that people will be prosecuted. I believe that some people will go to prison, maybe, probably, not enough. But I do believe that there will be some successful prosecutions and that there should be some people who will go to prison. But it's all taking too long.
Yeah, as is often the case with these things. Well, you've done a magnificent job campaigning on this issue. Lord Arbuthnot, so appreciate you joining us. So short but sweet, Conservative peer and a post office scandal campaigner. This is the terrible thing, Tom, isn't it? It's just these things take so long. People are dying without getting their compensation.
No, exactly, and it's in that delay that injustice sets in. So hopefully we're edging towards some kind of resolution for those who have remained.
Again, the people. Some of the compensation they've been offered originally doesn't even touch the sides of what it would, losing your reputation and your whole livelihood as well for all those years.